Lawyers, Senior Counsel John Haminwa and Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo. Let's cross over live and listen in to what they're saying at the Milimani Law Courts.
To emerge as a greater leader, and people can rely on you, can see you as someone on whom they can rely. With those few remarks, I urge you very respectfully that for the sake of the rule of law, for the sake of upholding our Constitution and the principles enshrined in our Constitution, and for Sakaja himself, Senator, who is losing a position of high status in the Senate, you take into account what I've said recently. That's
Council had indicated our senior counsel had stated that today is pleading guilty. But in a quick rejoinder, I want to say that first to take judicial notice of the fact that Sakaja as a politician, the way the politicians have been breaking and breaching this COVID regulations with a pardon. And we're urging the court to give a harsh sentence, to send a message to politicians and people placed in high places that these rules were not meant for the small persons. They were meant for all of us, and consider that the senator has been one of the persons who are championed for the rules. He is the architect of these rules, and he should have been the first person to comply with the same. Instead of condemning the media, who are doing a good work in highlighting what's happening, our politicians should have taken a lead, because we learn from them. Consider that he has been the chair of a select committee of the Senate that is combating the COVID-19, meaning that he should have been the first person to comply and champion and campaign for the adherence of those rules. Well, we appreciate, Your Honor, that it is your discretion to impose whichever sentence as per the law. It is, we beseech you to give the maximum sentence provided by the law. Much is expected from the senator, considering he's a senator of the biggest county in terms of population, and the county which is leading, as from the information we get from the CS in charge of health, Nairobi is leading in terms of the numbers, the searching numbers of those people who are contracting this disease. We also urge you to consider the time and what is alleged the senator was doing. He was drinking the company of his buddies at 1. Consider that the The curfew starts at 9 p.m. So it was 4 hours past the required time. Conceding to the breach, Your Honor, is not an excuse for the court to be too lenient or being lenient at all to the senator. So we humbly request, Your Honor, that this is a test for all of us in the fight of this pandemic. And the court should use this opportunity to send the message not only to the Nairobians, but to the entire country and the world that Kenya is serious in fighting this serious pandemic. That's all,
Your Honor, my honourable friend, Judy Soweto, will respond briefly.
Sorry, Your Honor, good morning. Your Honor, I will just begin by what my learned colleague, the prosecutor, has said, that the court should use this opportunity to show that Kenya is serious. Your Honor, the very fact that the senator stands here, like all the other Kenyans who have been brought before you today, is clear demonstration that Kenya is serious and that no one is above the law. The very fact that the senator of Nairobi County has had to be humbled enough to appear before you, to appear before the country and to make an apology is fact that no one is above the law. What would not be fair is for him to be treated differently because of his position. That would violate Article 27 of the Constitution that demands equality before the law. That law applies to the high and mighty, and that law applies to the low in rank in the same way. Impose a harsher penalty than would have been given to any other person who appeared before you would send the wrong message that justice is not blind, and yet justice is required to be blind so that we are all equal before the law. And so just to conclude, there is no harsher penalty or punishment, and the senator has already taken that upon himself, than being forced to resign from a position that he holds. Which shows contrition, and therefore we will plead that the court do not punish him any more than the world has already punished him, and his own mistake has punished him. That will be all.
Your Honor, permit me to say just one sentence to Justice Howard. One sentence. Yeah, no, just one sentence, Your Honor. Sorry, it is about myself. For the past 50 years, I've represented a lot of politicians in this country, in courts. This senator is the first politician to whom I have tried to say, let us plead not guilty. We have arguable points. And he has said to me in a strong tone, Haminwa, I want to plead guilty. He has opened a new chapter of leadership in our country. The new generation leadership. Let us encourage it, let us support it, and let us not be vengeful. A broad principle has been placed before you. And let us not approach this matter in a narrow manner, the way my able-learned friend has tried to do. This court has been given a chance to demonstrate to Kenya that Senator Sakaja is a great man. He has a great mind. He has a great future to lead this country. Thank you.
Senator Johnson Sakaja appearing before in an open court at the Kasarani Gymnasium, being presented by his lawyers, Senior Counsel John Haminwa and also lawyer Julie Soweto, both arguing that Sakaja has demonstrated a high standard of leadership when he decided to resign following the drama that happened on over the weekend when he resigned from being the chairperson of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee handling COVID-19 here in the country. But the prosecution is not buying that idea. They want the court to give him harsh penalty penalty, saying that it will serve as a lesson to politicians who are floating the COVID-19 containment measures and also the curfew that has been put in place by the government. And one of the fines, should the court go ahead to give him fine, the senator will be expected to pay a fine of 10,000 shillings, or should the court go the imprisonment way, then he'll spend 3 months in prison as a way of punishment for going against the curfew hours that were put in place by the government from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. But the Sakaja-led team, the lawyers for Sakaja, say that he should not be treated differently because of his position as the senator of Nairobi County, because he has already displayed leadership by actually resigning from his position as the Senate chair of the HADO committee handling COVID-19 in the country. Away from that developing story,